Okay, picture this. It's 2 a.m. Your phone is literally vibrating off the nightstand with a PagerDuty alert. A critical microservice is down, right? So you drag yourself to the keyboard, eyes barely open, bracing for hours of pulling logs, tracing misconfigurations, and just frantically Googling error codes while that downtime clock is ticking. We all know it's the absolute worst part of IT support and site reliability engineering. But what if by 2:01 a.m. you already had the exact root cause identified, a step-by-step fix generated, and the whole incident timeline fully mapped out?
Welcome to today's explainer. We are going to completely transform that tedious late-night firefighting into lightning-fast structured resolutions. We're diving deep into Anthropic's Claude AI, specifically looking at how its massive context window and reasoning capabilities are literally a game-changer for IT support and software engineers. We've pulled together a ton of battle-tested prompts, engineer workflows, and Claude documentation to show you exactly how to implement this stuff today.
Here's our roadmap for the explainer. We're covering diagnosing stack traces, summarizing error logs, drafting runbooks, automating ticket triage, rewriting replies, and wrapping up with the 60-second Sentry triage. Let's just jump right in.
Number 1, diagnosing stack traces. We are moving from symptoms to systems here.
So, when a bug hits, what do we usually do? We copy a symptom or a generic error message, paste it into a search engine, and just kind of hope for the best, right? But honestly, that's slow, involves a lot of guessing, and totally misses the systemic context of our specific codebase. Enter Claude. Instead of just guessing, Claude actually traces the execution path systematically. It can pinpoint the exact root cause and rank the most likely culprits based on your specific code, and it does this in like 3 seconds. It's wild.
But here's the catch. It's all about how you prompt it. You gotta treat Claude like a senior developer doing a rigorous code review. You paste the full stack trace and, this is absolutely crucial, you demand the root cause, not just a band-aid fix. If you don't do this, the AI might just give you a workaround that makes the error vanish temporarily, but you know that bug's gonna resurface later. So ask for what the error means, the exact root cause, a step-by-step fix, and exactly how to verify it. That's how you get a durable, permanent fix.
All right, moving on to number 2, summarizing error logs. This is all about turning 500 lines of chaos into a crystal clean timeline.
We have all been there, staring at massive, chaotic log files spanning multiple systems, just trying to piece together what broke first. Well, Claude can handle up to 200,000 tokens of raw data. To put that into perspective, that's roughly the equivalent of an entire 500-page book. So it can digest these massive log files in seconds. It takes hundreds of lines of total server chaos and structures it into a super clean incident timeline. It literally maps out the exact sequence, from the initial API latency spike at 2 a.m., right through to the database connection pool exhausting, the cascading 500 errors, and finally that memory leak threshold hitting critical. It looks at the evidence and separates the actual root cause from all the noise.
And here's a massive pro tip for AI-assisted debugging. Give Claude the raw data and just step out of the way. Seriously, stop summarizing the issue in your own words. When you do that, you're actually adding layers of abstraction and losing the exact technical detail that Claude needs to do its job. So just pipe the raw terminal output, the CI pipeline logs, or literally the raw Slack thread directly into Claude and let it do the heavy lifting.
Number 3, drafting incident runbooks. Never face the same failure mode unprepared.
Look, we all know the absolute best time to write a runbook is immediately after fixing the problem, right when the context is totally fresh. But let's be real, nobody wants to sit down and write documentation at 3 a.m. So here's the workflow. You can literally just give Claude a messy, stream-of-consciousness verbal description of your last 3 actual incidents. Then you feed it your compliance needs, like, say, explicitly noting that a GDPR breach has to be reported within 72 hours. Claude takes all of that and generates actionable, copy-pastable containment steps tailored to your actual failure modes, not just hypothetical ones. Boom! You instantly have a durable production runbook ready for the next time things go sideways.
Okay, number 4, automating ticket triage. We're routing chaos with intent detection.
If your team is completely drowning in a massive volume of support portal messages and bug reports, Claude makes an incredible intelligent router. Now, what's really cool here is the use of XML tags. First, you define strict user intent categories, like technical issue versus account management. But the real magic?
You prompt Claude to output its thought process inside reasoning tags before it outputs the final classification inside intent tags. By forcing the AI to basically think out loud before answering, its accuracy skyrockets. Then you can just use code to extract that final intent tag and automatically route the ticket. This ensures urgent vulnerabilities get escalated to the on-call team instantly.
Number 5. Rewriting user-friendly replies. Time to navigate the political minefield of IT support. Because let's face it, IT support can be a bit of a political minefield. You often have to explain highly technical and, honestly, sometimes user-inflicted errors to angry stakeholders without sounding condescending or accepting liability. If you send the raw technical truth, like, hey, you exhausted the socket connection pool by running a bad query, you are just asking for an argument. But Claude can easily reframe that technical blame into a professional, boundary-setting reply. Something like, we've optimized the database connection to handle your heavy reporting workload. It's brilliant. It protects the IT team while delivering top-tier customer service.
To nail this, here are some pro tips straight from the email trenches. First, tell Claude to ditch the overly formal robot language. It loves using words like furthermore, which is just a dead giveaway that it's an AI. Have it add one natural, casual human detail, and definitely check it against your organization's forbidden phrases. My favorite trick, though, just ask Claude to write 3 totally different versions of the email and simply pick the middle one. It is a total sanity saver when you're communicating post-incident.
And finally, number 6, the 60-second Sentry triage. We are bringing it all together in real time.
This is where speed is everything. Let's say you're using Claude Code right in your terminal. You can feed it a command line prompt just like this. You say, use Sentry CLI --help to learn about it, then use it to find the most recent error in production. Explain this error and suggest a fix. The crazy part? Claude doesn't even need to know the tool beforehand. It'll literally read the help output, figure out the syntax on the fly, pull the latest production error, trace the system log, and independently run the entire investigation.
The impact we're talking about here is massive. Think about it. Manual triage usually takes 45 minutes or more, involves a ton of guesswork, and often just results in a temporary band-aid. But with this Claude automation, the whole process takes under 60 seconds. It pinpoints the exact line of code, gives you the fix, writes the test to verify it, and provides the root cause analysis. The time and stress saved is just off the charts.
So if you only take one thing away from this explainer, let it be this. Stop describing symptoms and start describing systems. And to make sure Claude consistently gets your specific architecture, keep a claude.md file right in the root of your project. This acts like a persistent memory. It gives Claude your build commands, coding standards, and architectural decisions at the very start of every session. That way, it acts like a native senior engineer on your team, not a goldfish starting from scratch every single time.
By plugging these workflows into your day-to-day, you're literally eliminating the busy work that drains your energy. You stop guessing, and you start actually engineering. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on today. What will you build when you finally shift from being a reactive firefighter to a proactive architect? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I absolutely encourage you to try out just one of these prompts in your very next workflow. You're going to love it.